Hello and welcome to UnJustified, where we always cover the truth, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. If you're not a member of our newest channel, Unjustified Crimes, please join us over there as well. You can hit the link in the description box below. There is where we cover all of the breaking crime news. And let's get right into today's video. This is a complete contradiction as to what we have heard from a witness that claimed she actually observed at the Mary Piglet restaurant than what the manager told Brian Enton. Gabby and Brian left a restaurant without paying before being followed out by a server on the night that she was last seen alive. There was a YouTuber and her fiance who also visited the Mary Piglets restaurant in Jackson, Wyoming, August the 27th. The restaurant manager told a reporter, Brian Enton, that the couple left the cafe without paying. A server had then followed Gabby and Brian outside, and they paid the bill standing on the street. The reporter also added that moments after the couple re-entered the Tex-Mex restaurant, and Gabby apparently tried to get her money back, but the cafe refused to give her her money back. The manager was asked if the restaurant had any sort of CCTV footage from that night. And the manager said that they did have surveillance video, but that they didn't know if it was significant at the time, and it has since been deleted. The manager also seemed to deny any reports that Gabby and Brian had an argument at the cafe. She told Brian Enton that there was no loud voices, no one got angry, and no one threw a fit there. But
she says everything that's been on the news about what happened here is made up. She says there was no loud voices, no one got angry, no one threw a fit here, but she says that Gabby and Brian did leave the restaurant without paying, and she says that the server followed them outside, that they paid the bill out here on the street, and that Brian was very calm, but then that they came back into the restaurant together, and that Gabby said that she wanted her money back, and the restaurant said that we're not going to give you your money back, and that then Gabby and Brian left.
See, last month, a witness came forward named Nina Angelo, and she claimed that Brian was involved in an explosive argument with the waitress at the restaurant. And during an interview with Fox News, she even claimed she watched on in shock as she saw how agitated Brian became. And while she said she could not hear what words were being exchanged between Brian and the woman, she believed that the argument was either over a bill or about money. She also said that Brian's body language was aggressive, and said that he left and returned to the restaurant about 4 times. She also said that at one point, Gabby came back into the restaurant and was even apologizing for Brian's behavior. She says it's crazy because it wasn't just like we passed him on the street. This was a full-blown incident.
We were at this restaurant, you guys, Friday, August 27th, 1 p.m., sitting right next to them. They got kicked out of the restaurant and were fighting with the hostess. They were fighting with the hostess. She was hysterically crying, and she walked out, and she was crying, and she was staying on the sidewalk, and I was watching the whole thing unfold. And he walked back in the restaurant, and he's fighting with the hostess, and I didn't know what happened. I don't even know if they got kicked out, but they left abruptly, and she was standing on the sidewalk crying, and he walked back in and was screaming at the hostess, and then walked back out, and then he walked back in 4 more times to talk to the manager and to tell the hostess off, and
Now here's where it gets kind of weird and confusing and contradictory. A manager at the Mary Piglet previously told Sun that the eatery, it was incredibly busy during the summer months, and they couldn't specifically recall the alleged incident, but in a later statement to CNN, the manager said that they did see an incident at the restaurant that day and they later reported it to the FBI. The manager declined to describe what happened when Brian Ensign was asking him questions. Okay, Nina's boyfriend, Matthew, also told Fox News that he had no doubt it was Gabby and Brian that he saw. He said that the body cam footage from the incident in Moab matched the mannerism and body language that they apparently witnessed firsthand. He also said that Brian was wearing clothes that he recognized from that clip, adding in that it looked kind of like he had been living out of a van for a little while. He said, I would bet $10 million. I am 1,000% sure that was him and that was her. Gabby and Brian were at the restaurant just weeks before she was reported missing. So see, I do not know what to think about this. I'm almost more prone to believe what the witness said as opposed to what the manager said. Because the witness actually told their story not only on their private TikTok or whatever it was account. They also went to CNN, Fox News. They did many interviews with random, news channels, and their story never changed. Actually, I don't believe we would have ever known that Brian and Gabby were even at that restaurant had these witnesses that observed them arguing hadn't have came forward. It seems to me this manager has actually changed their story several times. From yes, they was here, yes, there was an incident, we even reported it to the FBI, to now saying, no, there was nothing. It wasn't a big deal, They paid on the sidewalk. Gabby came back in, asked for her money back, and we said no, and she left. It was no big deal. That's what they're saying now to Brian Ensign. It's just so confusing. Maybe the manager's doing this not to bring attention, ill attention, bad attention to his restaurant. Maybe he's saying this now. I don't know. But either way, I'm very thankful that the witnesses came forward in the beginning. Had they not, I don't think we would have ever known that Brian and Gabby were even at this restaurant. Okay, guys. Have a great day, night, evening, wherever you may be. Put your thoughts in the comments section below. Give us a thumbs up or even a thumbs down if you feel so inclined. And until next time, this is Unjustified.